Alright, everyone, let's get our final opinions on Survivor Series. Let's see. After having everything set in stone for them, and they had to change plans because of the backlash it got. With the only match changing was, the only match that never changed was The Miz versus Baron Corbin. All the other matches were either added last minute because certain concepts were put in, or they had to change it because everyone would hated it. So, yeah. Before the show had started, two matches were also announced for the kickoff. Elias Sampson versus Matt Hardy, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Breezango. Yeah. So Elias does his typical, who wants to walk with Elias? Because that's getting popular now. So therefore, Cena will bury him soon. Provided he comes back to Raw, though he'll be gone for Hollywood again. And then he goes in and bashes Houston and also Texas. Considering the circumstances that Texas just went through in a month, they should just be glad they did not have the show have him say that after certain disasters that affected Texas. Yeah. And Matt Hardy's music interrupted his performance again, and Elias. Okay, I did not watch a lot of these pre-show matches. I only was pretty much interested in Kalisto versus Enzo Amore, not because it would be a good match, but because it was the only match that had a story going on. And Elias would go ahead and take advantage of his opponent, of Matt Hardy, and basically damage the shoulder. And also, speaking of Matt Hardy, it's been said that he might get the broken gimmick at the end of this year. Yes. So, we can expect it in 2 months probably if the courts side with him. So, Elias got the victory in this matchup. It was alright at best. I didn't care for it. There was no story for this. But, yeah, after Elias has sent him with the drift away, Elias got the victory, and yeah, this was Matt Hardy's good work on the pay-per-view since he got back. That wasn't a tag team match, and plus after, the circumstances surrounding Jeff Hardy getting injured, yeah, I kind of found it a little funny that because of shoulders, I thought it was kind of funny that why they decided to target the shoulder as well for Matt Hardy. I just found that a little funny. So Elias looks like he's poised for something big. At least he has a better chance than Velveteen Dream on the main roster, though considering Vince's vendetta against NXT, they'll just do whatever it takes to ruin them in 3 days. So, the more Elias gets over, the more you'll get to probably see the signs of an Elias versus John Cena, or as I would like to call it, John Cena destroys Elias on the grind of it will make him better in the long run, even though it really won't. So, so let's get to Cruiserweight Championship match, Kalisto versus Enzo Amore. When Kalisto botched his entrance, I was like, this is going to be painful. And sure enough, for some reason, Enzo got a lot of offense in this, and I'm just wondering why. So, yeah, and then I saw 215 Live after, where it involves the fighting is over cake now. Yeah. Also, the only guy who's really benefiting off of Enzo's reign as Cruiserweight Champion is Drew Gulak, because he's just so funny. And really, Enzo and Kalisto, yeah, we suffer the mostly regarding except for Drew Gulak, where the audience are pretty much suffering because Enzo is not a cruiserweight. He just is small enough for it, but he's not really a cruiserweight that we know as. Like, he's not Neville, he's not Kalisto, he's not Jushin Thunder Liger, he's not like all the cruiserweights in WCW. He's not the cruiserweights of the old back when WWE said, hey, let's do a cruiserweight division on SmackDown because we didn't make a women's championship for SmackDown when we took it to Raw. Okay. So, okay, like, I had no interest in this match. Enzo defeats Kalisto, whatever. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. So, where does he go from here? I have no idea. Like, you could say he probably will renew his rivalry with Neville if he comes back, though, considering Neville, because Neville didn't like the position he was in, I'm pretty sure that might not happen. Hopefully he doesn't go back to the Cruiserweights. Honestly, he should just go to SmackDown, because at least there he'll be treated as something other than, here's a division that we honestly don't give a shit about, but you get to be champion, hooray! And Neville with that Gollum destroyed face where it looks like he lost his precious. He probably showed that look to them like, are you fucking kidding me? It's just fun to speculate on that. Very fun. So, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are on the pre-show. Why? Why? It was already bad that they were not even part of the show in terms of having a match, but when I heard it was going to be the kickoff, I was like, at least they'll do something in the main event. I knew that was going to happen, but why do this match again? Like, is it just to fuel more stuff for Shane versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? So, yeah. Okay, and here's the thing. There's just one big thing that is just a glaring omission here. That's just glaring to me. It's just Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They don't care about this little brand warfare. They're actually thinking with their heads, like saying, hey, do you know what I just realized? Is it possible Shane and Kurt are taking this feud a little too much and the brands are suffering for it? And really we should be thinking about our careers instead of, corporate business stuff going on? Yeah, and I just simply love the fact that the commentators kept condemning them for it. Like, Kevin Owens had to remind fans that he had won both his first IC title and Universal title in the Toyota Center, much to the fans' delight being reminded of those days. And Zayn reiterated that the war between SmackDown and Raw is not their fight and was looking to continue speaking when Breezango appeared. And Tyler Breeze and Fandango are the usual comedians, which, okay. Didn't they get kidnapped and weren't they going to do a Saw-like gimmick for Fashion Files? Yeah. Yeah, they, couldn't they just get the Bludgeon Brothers? Though, of course, they would have failed instantaneously, so, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, they could have done something with Owens and Zayn. I mean, like, it would have been better than the guys that are supposed to be kidnapped by a version of Saw for Fashion Files. Yeah, I think people just forgot that because they didn't address it last week. So, yeah, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just beat them after Breezango was, like, fighting off Owens and Zayn. And I'm like, wait, why is this happening? Yeah, I'm just wondering, how is Breezango beating Zayn and Owens happening? Like, they get Team Owens and Zayn get the victory, but yeah, I can't imagine Breezango, taking a match seriously in terms of their characters because, okay, remember the Backlash match between them and the Usos? They used the comedian routine to their advantage. This doesn't make any sense to me, whereas the comedian part, that actually made sense why they would use it to in order as a full-fledged advantage against the Usos, but they didn't do it in the match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That actually would have made the match more entertaining. So, yeah, and yeah, like they did their best, but yeah, Owens and Zayn, yeah, they just get their case to say, yeah, we're being underutilized to our full potential, and I'm pretty sure Vince loves that because they're NXT guys and from the Indies, therefore they're scum to Vince. Until John Cena gets injured, then Vince will go on beg on his knees and say, please help us, even though I treat you all like crap and make fun of your way, Owens. Please get muscles, because I have a disturbing fetish for muscles. So, yeah. Okay. I get that Owens and Zayn need to complain more, but they already have enough fuel. Like, they bashed Daniel Bryan, so just do that. So, I got no words for this match. Just glad Owens and Zayn won. So, the first match of the official pay-per-view was The Shield versus New Day, and that kicks off the show. And, okay, what do I have to say about this match? It was awesome. However, there was just one major problem I had is the fans still chanting, "You still suck, Reigns." It's not like they loved Reigns in the Shield. They loved when Reigns was in the Shield when they were a face, and now they're not even going to do that. Then the fans are not going to accept Reigns returning to the Shield. I get why they're mad, because they know this is just to protect Reigns in terms of, if they're cheering for him, that means we're succeeding in making him look good. Even though really it's the Shield aesthetics that are making him look good. But, come on. At this point, it's more like a sport to these fans who hate Reigns. Like, I get you don't want him shoved down your throats, but you would think that eventually when he produces good matches over and over and over and over and over, you would think that would start to win people over. Like, John Cena does it, and he gets the crowd to at least get split with him, whereas Roman Reigns, he can do a good match, and fans will say, "Dad, you suck! You're not from the Indies! You're not Daniel Bryan!" Which is why I was not really in favor with the Yes Moon near the end of Bryan's career. And some person accused me of not being a fan of Bryan at all, even though that made no sense to me. So, also, I was really hoping Xavier Woods would, like, be the badass of the New Day to just, do what he did at Hell in a Cell against the Usos in his final last stand. Like, I was really hoping that Big E and Woods would do that. And this match was really good. Like I said, this is chaotically crazy. But, like I said, okay, here's my alternate opinion. This match was awesome, but in terms of which match would be a first time ever I would have preferred, I find better, it's the Wyatt family versus the Shield over the Shield versus the New Day. Okay, maybe Evolution beats the New Day, so this might be the third best tag team first time ever matchup. But, yeah. It's just, though, of course, Evolution versus Shield did have one major glaring problem. Their first match was at Extreme Rules, and they didn't have a hardcore-based matchup. That was at Payback. And I would say that was better than the Extreme Rules match, so, yeah. So, anyways, okay. Also, we saw the return of the Buckle Bomb, and Roman Reigns doing what he usually does best. And Woods, okay, there were times it looked like Woods was trying to do what he did at Hell in a Cell, except not as badass, because they didn't give him a chance to really go out. And after Reigns had speared Kofi Kingston, the Hounds of Justice delivered a super triple power bomb to pick up the win. So, yeah, like, the New Day don't lose anything. In fact, they kind of did. The only thing they did win is the fact that they're not breaking up. The Shield will be. So, yeah, that's gonna happen. But oh man, this was awesome. The crowd booing Reigns because he dare exists is really annoying. Like a lot of people said, he could destroy the devil. He could end world hunger. He could bring world peace and rid the world of anger and hate, and lock up all the criminals like Superman and the rest of the DC and Marvel comics and various other comics franchises. And people will still say, yeah, he's not what we wanted to do all this stuff. We wanted this guy to do it. It's at that level I keep thinking that would happen. Like, because he's not this guy, even if he did all these great things for the world, that would be like, that's like, no, we don't. We don't want to appreciate your hard work. So, yeah. So let's move on. We got the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown women's match. Okay. This match just went out of nowhere crazy. There was a lot of sloppy moments. Like, there were some botches. And the fact that Bayley and Becky Lynch were first eliminated early, yeah. I knew Team Raw was going to win that match because Asuka's in it. Because they're really going to screw Asuka over on, give her first true loss in a Survivor Series match. Yeah, I don't see that actually happening. So, Asuka would defeat Tamina, who actually did a great performance. Though, I will wonder, wait, why did Nia Jax get counted out, eliminated, whereas last time she was in a Survivor Series match, she tapped out? Why? And surprisingly, this match lasted for nearly 20 minutes. It was like less than 90 seconds away from that. I was surprised at how long this match went. It was nearly 20 minutes. And I was surprised by that. If they had given it proper development and not try to work out all the sloppiness that happened, this match would have done a lot better for me. But in the end, I just knew Asuka was gonna win for Team Raw and be the sole survivor. Like, it would have been interesting. Like, I was surprised Tamina's kind of getting this big push. Like, yeah, I was surprised by that. And the fact that they acknowledged the family history between Tamina and Nia Jax is like, wait, they never acknowledged that before. What's the difference now? Like, yeah, just do the Samoan family stable. So, anyways. And nothing really was surprising on here. Like, I was expecting either Banks or you know, Banks or Bayley to do something big, but no. And also Stephanie McMahon getting a positive talk to the women team. Okay, yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that because this is Stephanie we're talking about. She has done nothing since ever was emasculate every single person and downplayed them and just said, oh, you're worthless, and therefore I'm a woman and I'm a boss, therefore you can't hit me, even though Stone Cold has done it, The Rock has done it, my husband Triple H has done it, let's see, who else has struck me in the ring? Oh, even my dad struck me in the ring in a I Quit match. Yeah, people don't like talking about that match. Mostly because WWE tries to make everyone forget that happened and don't even say that was her last match. Uh-huh. So, yeah. Also, Lana was knocked out, so that was fun. So, okay. Though, I keep wondering why the opposition keeps getting more offense on her against Asuka. That kind of surprises me a little bit, but And Edge and Christian, I believe, said on their podcast they don't see the appeal of Asuka. Do they watch NXT? Okay. So, that match had a lot of botches going on, and there were some sloppy moments. And I thought for sure there was a 3 count in one in the match, but then it just never happened. So, I was wondering why that was the case. So, I would like to see what happens next for Asuka. Though, really, I don't know where else she would go. Like I said, she also, when Natalya was revealed to be the partner mid into the week, I was like, why? Why couldn't it have been Paige? Heck, people were speculating that Nikki Bella was going to be on Team SmackDown, because isn't she part of SmackDown and she hasn't been seen since? Yeah, at least Cena has an excuse. He goes to Hollywood. What's Nikki Bella's excuse? Planning a wedding, even though it's kind of hinting that they're going to do it in the WWE ring at WrestleMania, probably. Yeah. So they're trying to copy Macho Man and Elizabeth's marriage at a pay-per-view. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm wondering why they didn't just bring Paige or Nikki Bella in. Though, I get the feeling the other reason was because it's Asuka, and they didn't want these two women to return only to get eliminated and lose. Though, Paige, because she hasn't been seen in over a year, and Nikki Bella because she's John Cena's future wife. Yeah. So let's get to a match that, while it wasn't the best match, it was surprisingly a little bit better than I was than I thought it would be. Baron Corbin versus The Miz. And they now start talking about their social media warfare. Much more than what they were doing. Yeah, and here's the surprising thing. The fact that neither guy, even though this was a heel versus heel match, they weren't really controlling the other for long. Instead, they exchanged control all throughout. And that was a little surprising. And everyone was speculating that Miz is going to win this match because Miz is defending the honor of his wife, an unborn child. So, yeah, surprisingly, Corbin got the victory. I was thinking Miz was going to win because it's Miz. Though something tells me the reason why why Corbin won was because how Sin Cara went, how that all went. Also, I didn't mention this in the video. The fact that Baron Corbin and Sin Cara on the final SmackDown stood next to each other, and the fact Corbin was seen smack down rocks, I was like, see, this is why I keep thinking logic is like WWE just hates all forms of logic in November. Like, and the fact that Corbin didn't trash talk Sin Cara during the whole team meeting thing, I was like expecting that, but no, they just were like, yeah, they're mostly saying they're vowed to defeat The Miz and one gets the US title. So, yeah, that's the epitome of no logic going on here. So, this match was alright. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. Also, the fact that these two were heels, and yeah, a lot of people still find it a little odd when a heel fights a heel, although everyone loved the Shield and Wyatt, though they turned into tweeners more. But nonetheless, they were also two heel factions, so we can't use that. So, yeah, yeah, Sin Cara, I don't know what's he gonna do, but Baron Corbin and Miz, you know, like I said, it's a little surprising that Baron Corbin won. You would think because Corbin insulted Maurice and her unborn child, Miz would get the victory, but no. Surprisingly, in fact, I don't even recall if they ever did a skull-crushing finale attempt. Instead, Miz just tried to do the Daniel Bryan maneuvers, but that failed miserably. And that just ended. Yeah. So now, let's get to the Raw Tag Team Champions, The Bar, versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Usos. It's the Usos. They cut a promo, as always, and the Usos dominate. The Usos in this Bar. I mean, like, I would have loved if it was Ambrose and Rollins versus the Usos, but what we got here was pretty okay too. I would have loved the Usos versus the Shield, and plus it would have been interesting how they would interact with Reigns, considering Reigns and the Usos are family, and yet the Usos are the villains of the story, and Reigns is the quote good guy. So, also, surprisingly, they did a throwback to last year's match with the sharpshooter, but this time Jay was able to make it to the ropes and break the hold. Yeah, they were providing an alternative ending to the Survivor Series Tag Team Elimination matchup. So, yeah, anyways. So, the Usos get the victory, and I was also, Cesaro, thank God he did not cut a promo this time, because, well, apparently a lot of people were saying the same thing. Oh, we keep thinking that he's only talking with that mouthpiece is because Vince finds it funny, therefore we all suffer for it, and so does he. But there's apparently a reason on the grounds of, I don't know, let me look. I read the article, but I don't remember exactly what was the reason. But, yeah, it is kind of funny that it's not really funny. It's more like, yeah, it's kind of it wouldn't be surprising if that was the case. That Vince just thought, oh, it's funny to me, therefore I have all the right opinions. And everyone was saying, just make Cesaro a silent killer on something. So, oh man. So, anyways, moving on from that, the Usos get the victory and finally achieve victory over, and finally with Baron Corbin's help, gives SmackDown an advantage over Raw, 2-2. So now we get to see what's next for them. But the Usos, I get the feeling they're going to do a double turn with Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. And Cesaro and Sheamus, yeah, I have no idea what's planned for them. I honestly don't know what's planned for them. And I guess they'll drop the belts back to the Shield. I think. Okay. So now we get to Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. And okay, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte had finally decided, hey, let's build up something to the show during the kickoff. And they had some hostilities with each other before that. So, and there was a huge stiff attack on Charlotte during SmackDown, but that was the only interaction they had. But then they finally said, hey, let's actually get some development here before we get into this match. Like, on the kickoff. And, okay, I was thinking, I would think they were going to focus on the leg, because that seemed to be the focus on Natalya versus Charlotte feud. But now it's, back to, she's targeting the ribs for some reason. Also, here's a thing that kind of was awesome, but at the same time was scratching my head confusing, is that they talked about Alexa Bliss and Charlotte's history in NXT. Why didn't they do that with Finn Balor and Samoa Joe? Like during the main event, which can't wait to talk about that. I was like, wait, but they acknowledged Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe, but Finn Balor and Samoa Joe's tag team run, that's not going to be mentioned at all by Vince? Oh, and the commentary? Oh my god, it was so horrible. Because, it's 5 people, 1 neutral, 2, Raw and SmackDown fanboys, and Booker T being, for some reason, an idiot this time. Like, very confusing, like he wasn't even taking the show seriously to him. Like, granted, the logic makes no sense in this show, but come on, at least the commentators are supposed to put in some effort. And the fact that people were saying, go Byron, for calling out Booker T on his bullshit. Yeah, that should say something about how bad Booker T was tonight. So, Charlotte gets the victory over Alexa Bliss, therefore ending her undefeated streak of Vince's obsession for her. Though surprisingly, Charlotte delivered natural selection and Alexa Bliss kicked out, which was surprising. And we got the trademark Alexa Bliss temper tantrum. And after after Bliss tried to go for Twisted Bliss, Charlotte got the knees up and a big boot and a figure 8 lock ended Bliss's night on a losing note. Yeah, like I said, this match was surprisingly good. Like, I wasn't thinking it would go as long as it did. It was almost it was 15 minutes long. I was honestly suspecting it would be I thought, like, due to the 5-on-5 women match, I was thinking they were going to cut this match down in half because, I don't know, they just wanted to. But surprisingly, they were given 15 minutes to work this match out, and they delivered as much as they could on this, given the lack of build. So, props to that. And now, SmackDown is up 3 to Raw's 2. So, Charlotte Flair looks like she's going to fight might fight Natalya again. Alexa Bliss, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the reason why I don't know what's going to happen to certain Raw superstars for the next pay-per-view, because apparently there is no Raw pay-per-view in December. So, yeah, I don't think it's been reported. I think it got reported that there is no Raw pay-per-view in December. So, yeah, and the fact that Royal Rumble would be the next pay-per-view after Clash of Champions, which is a SmackDown pay-per-view this year, that means half of the storylines will be restricted to only a few being Raw. And then they have to do the Royal Rumble match, and then there's also SmackDown time constraints. So, yeah. So, moving on. Now we get to what surprisingly was not the main event. Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. And Jinder Mahal cut a promo during a pre-recorded promo saying he was rooting for Styles, though hopes Brock Lesnar breaks him in half. Also, it got revealed that Styles and Jinder Mahal is going to happen on Tuesday, on the Tuesday after Survivor Series. So I think we all know what might happen down the road on that. Or they might do their rematch officially at Clash of Champions where Jinder Mahal gets the victory. Though considering how things are going on with the Indian ticket sales, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, hopefully. And then I had heard before the show that Lesnar was actually saying, yes, I'm fighting AJ Styles! Which should say, yeah, let's hope he actually produces a good match with Styles. Because, yeah. And then, I laughed at this. Lesnar did a knee up maneuver like CM Punk and Ryback were doing. And Lesnar used to do it back when he was a full-time superstar. when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, oh, I bet Lesnar might be pissed off because how dare you make me use more than my 2 moves? I'm like, granted, I can do those 2 moves well, but I do only do those 2 moves. I refuse to do any other stuff for the show. And sure enough, Lesnar had to do more moves than he had done in the past several years since his full-time run in WWE. Like, he's done, like, only a couple same moves. It's either tackle, punch dastardly, and maybe use a weapon. Though that's a big maybe, unless there's no DQ stipulations. But mostly it's tackle, a bunch of forearm attacks, suplex, F5, and maybe a Kimura lock every now and again. Whereas before, Lesnar did a shooting star press, did that knee maneuver, so many maneuvers back then, and sure enough, Lesnar had to take a page out of his full-time run, which I'm pretty sure he hates, because, I don't know, WWE just alludes to the fact Lesnar did not like working full-time because, oh no, I have to work full-time! Okay, I get being pissed off that you have to work full-time and be separated from your family, I get that, but you should have known what you were signing up for. It's not WCW, where they had relaxing where you only worked 120 days other than 365 for the most part on that. So, yeah. AJ Styles surprisingly got a lot of shots in, so that should say something about what this match was. This match pretty much stole the show. Lesnar delivered more than he has usually done. Like, Braun Strowman versus Lesnar, it was said that Lesnar didn't even want to work with him. Yeah. So, yeah, and I was seriously hoping, please let Styles win. Not because I'm kind of bored with Lesnar, and the fact that they mentioned that Lesnar has been champion for over 200 days, and they keep saying that's because he's a beast and whatnot. I was like, no. How many title matches has he had during his reign as Universal Champion? Let's see. There was SummerSlam. There was No Mercy. And there was Great Balls of Fire. That was only 3 months in a row. Lesnar skipped several months of pay-per-view telling for Raw after WrestleMania, so yeah, and this wasn't even a title match, so they can't use that excuse. So, yeah, yeah. Oh, God. So, Lesnar spent most of that time working 3 matches. In one of them, he spent a half of the match away after being beaten up by Braun Strowman. And the 2 matches he was in are a combined, let's see, 11, 12, 13, 15 minutes. 2 matches, 15 minutes combined. Samoa Joe and Lesnar was 6 minutes, and Lesnar versus Braun Strowman was 9 minutes. And he spent the first half of the match. He spent a lot of time in the SummerSlam match doing nothing, just getting put on a stretcher, and then coming back and kicking ass again, and then finally get the victory. So, yeah. So, Lesnar, and plus, anyways, Styles it was so close to this victory, and honestly I was thinking Jinder Mahal was going to get involved like it was said it was going to happen, but surprisingly no, instead Styles loses clean. At least Lesnar worked harder than he did in the last several months. I get the part with Goldberg because Goldberg isn't really much of a wrestler guy. He's more like a brawler who likes to do quick explosive matches and then that's it. So, yeah, at least we got a good match out of Lesnar that didn't involve him completely dominating. Instead, Styles got some heavy shots in to the point that it looked like Styles was going to win. which I would have loved. But now we gotta make Lesnar the Ultimate Champion and his ultimate confrontation with Roman Reigns. Yeah. So, let's get to the main event. Team SmackDown versus Team Raw. SmackDown versus Raw. Raw versus SmackDown. The men's division. So, okay, let's see. This match features Triple H, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Kurt Angle fighting Shane McMahon, John Cena, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton. Okay, the first 10 minutes of this match was mostly set for dream matches we could get with Bobby Roode and Triple H, Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton and Samoa Joe, John Cena versus Samoa Joe, and... okay. And then something happened. The match sucked. Okay, this match started around 10-11, I believe. So, okay, Braun Strowman eliminates Shinsuke Nakamura, then Bobby Roode, then John Cena eliminates Samoa Joe, then gets eliminated by Kurt Angle with help from Finn Balor, and then let's see, then Finn Balor gets eliminated by Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton gets eliminated by Braun Strowman, and then Kurt Angle gets eliminated by Shane McMahon with help from Triple H. Then Triple H eliminates Shane McMahon. There's so much wrong with this match. Like, this was the perfect matchup they could have done. They had all this talent, and they said, fuck all you fans, we're going to do this stupidly. Like, remember that one match from last year with SmackDown vs. Raw, and that was 52 minutes long, and they told a whole bunch of stories at once? Why couldn't they do that? Yeah, none of the characters had any reason for being in this match, other than Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, and Triple H having something. Like, here's the thing. I had a feeling this match was going to be over the top overbooking. I'm like, that would have made it more memorable. Like, you have Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura being the only guys that don't have something going on. And John Cena. In fact, he barely did anything in this match. Like, he got eliminated, like, 3 minutes after he eliminated Samoa Joe. Yeah, this is why fans kind of hate the franchise player a lot. So, and the fact he teamed up with Orton of all people, despite their history and so many matches, I think someone counted over 70. Yeah, that should say something. Anyways, but here was the huge, funniest, well, I wouldn't say funny, more like kind of metaphor Vince might have been going with. Okay, the first two eliminations, Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode by Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, a non-NXT guy who's rising to the top, who's everything Vince wants in a star, eliminates two NXT guys who are also indie wrestlers, one from New Japan and one from TNA, and they're also friends with Triple H. Does that not kind of hint at something that Vince is saying to us? Like, oh, you like these guys? Well, here's my personal fuck you to all of them. Also, the dissension with Team Raw happened way too quick. It just felt so out of nowhere. Like, they didn't build it up. Like, okay, they start having dissension 10 minutes into the matchup. At least there was one dissension from Styles and Ambrose that took 16 minutes. And they already had a match scheduled for TLC, so it made sense. But here's the thing. here's what I thought was going to happen. Okay, we were going to go at for 20 minutes, then we start having issues, like Braun Strowman getting eliminating one of the wrestlers, eliminating either Shinsuke or Bobby Roode, or hell, even John Cena or Orton. Honestly, I would have loved it. He eliminated John Cena clean. And then Kane comes out and attacks Strowman, screws him over, and gets him counted out. And we do that because they want to keep Strowman strong. That isn't Brock Lesnar. And then we would go ahead and eliminate. Then we do a couple more. Then we do an additional 10 minutes. Then Kurt Angle and Triple H start to have issues with each other as time goes on. And then eventually it so boils over that Triple H screws Kurt Angle, or Kurt Angle just has enough. And then Jason Jordan gets involved and costs Triple H his chance to get something out of this. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would get involved and attack Shane McMahon, which happened. And I was hoping it would have been a clusterfuck. But no, it just ended confusingly stupid. Like, the only good thing about this match, this is the saddest part, is the thing that happened after the match. After Triple H got the victory for his team, for just him and Braun Strowman because they were the sole survivors, Braun Strowman just had this look like, am I supposed to be doing something? And then realized, oh, I think this is what I was supposed to do. And then he grabs Triple H by his throat, drags him to the ground, into the corner, and Triple H just has this look of fear, though of course you can also say he was just being choked to death, and Strowman threatening to destroy him if he ever crossed him again. And then, sure enough, Triple H tries to attack him, much to the idiocy of the McMahon family. And sure enough, he power slams Triple H twice after Triple H got back up the first time. Something that Brock Lesnar didn't do. So, are they saying Triple H is tougher than Lesnar? Yeah, but here's the thing. The problem I had was, like, I was thinking John Cena and Orton would be eliminated. Then it would come down to Angle, Triple H, and the rest of the SmackDown tag team. And Samoa, but they instead sacrificed Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe to put over the likes of Triple H, Kurt Angle, John Cena, and Orton, and to an extent Shane McMahon, even though this is no longer the the mid-2000s. Like, I get Bobby Roode is not young, but he's still freshly new on the main roster. And Finn Balor is supposed to be getting this big push, but then they sacrificed him to Kane after one night of TLC AJ Styles fight. Shinsuke Nakamura was screwed by Jinder Mahal multiple times, so you need to have something going for him. Samoa Joe just got back. It would have been interesting if he, did something important other than get mad at Finn Balor and Strowman for some reason. And the other notable highlight was when Triple H did the too sweet gesture with Finn Balor, which was honestly hilarious. And there was one problem with the commentary other than everything. Bryce Saxton, during the Uso versus Bar match, they go ahead and call it a super kick party. Paging Young Bucks, I believe WWE's trying to take a shot at you. Because even though WWE made the super kick become cliched as fuck, they didn't call it a super kick party. The Young Bucks did that. So WWE says, ha! We made super kicks irrelevant. So we're going to go ahead and take a shot at you. So you made the super kick irrelevant. The Young Bucks made something fun out of it. Then you took it from them and tried to downplay it as an insult to the Young Bucks. That's weird. And Cena had very little involvement in this match, surprisingly. And yeah, it's the year 2017, and we're getting another McMahon family melodrama. And like I said, Braun Strowman was pretty much the only thing that saved the ending of the show when he when he managed to at least be put strong and power slam Triple H 2 times, which will be interesting to see what repercussions hold for Strowman afterwards. Though, I wouldn't be surprised if they screwed it up. Though, this does lead to something I have a feeling of. After Triple H had screwed Kurt Angle and it looked like he was going to team up with Shane, which I knew was not going to happen because there is some personal problems with them in real life, apparently. I was thinking this. Okay, it was reported that the reason why Undertaker was coming back, other than to celebrate Raw, was to supposedly WWE trying to convince him to say, hey, could you, even though you did an emotional farewell and you kind of did it in a way that can't be replicated ever again, can you come back for us and fight Strowman at next year's WrestleMania, even though you have hip replacement issues, but Vince doesn't care so long as you're able to still stand, that means you can still work. We're kind of sick fucks like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Undertaker told them, yeah, fuck no, I'm not doing that. So, also, Strowman was down for a lot of the match, and yet no one screamed out, Strowman sleeping, because he's not Roman Reigns. Yeah. Anyways, so I get the feeling that Kurt Angle and Triple H was possible going to happen at WrestleMania, but now I think, is it going to happen at Royal Rumble or at the Raw pay-per-view before WrestleMania? And then they're going to probably do Braun Strowman versus Triple H to compensate because they couldn't get Undertaker to come back for a wrestling match against Strowman at the next WrestleMania. However, if WWE doesn't do a thing with Strowman after his attacks on Triple H, then I will say this match was completely, entirely pointless. Other than, quote, brand supremacy. And sure enough, the streak lives as WWE cannot make a better show than the developmental NXT TakeOver shows. That really should say something how sad Vince is. In fact, this the last part of the show, the main event, was just so what Vince loves in WWE. He hates Shinsuke. He hates Bobby Roode. He hates Finn Balor. He hates Samoa Joe. Why? Because he didn't make them. He made Triple H. He made Kurt Angle. He made John Cena. He made Randy Orton. And also Shane McMahon. So, who do you think he's going to favor more of? The guys he did create or the guys he had a hand in creating? If I was to think, Triple H was probably thinking to himself, oh my god, we really need to get rid of Vince. Because, really imagine if Triple H was the one booking this main event. Bobby Roode, Nakamura, Balor, and Joe probably would have done a lot better than they were given. And it would have been them in the finals, and not more McMahon family nonsense. With a dose of Kurt Angle. Yeah, but I was thinking so Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got involved in the match. Shane McMahon attacks him with steel chairs. And that doesn't run out a disqualification elimination for him. Okay, I get they weren't officially part of Raw, but still. Also, when Orton was getting eliminated by Strowman, Shane just stood there. Like, really? You're not even going to do a thing? Like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn clearly aren't coming back, but you're prepared, you can get in the ring and charge. Or at least attempt to try and save Orton. Granted, Triple H and Kurt Angle probably would have stopped you, but at least you would have tried. You just stood there like, am I supposed to do something? Oh god, I'm in a team. So, yeah, so much confusion with this show for me. It was just so confusing. Oh, God. So, it looks like Shane is going to continue his war with Owens and Sami Zayn. Yeah, have you noticed that all SmackDown has something going for them, at least, for the next upcoming pay-per-view, while Raw doesn't, because there is no pay-per-view for them in December? Unlike they have the holidays, but even SmackDown has that, unfortunately, and the roster doesn't like that. So, yeah. But like I said, I was expecting a whole bunch of shenanigans to break out in this hopefully would have been hour-long matchup. But no, they didn't do that. They just played it extremely safe and had it all clunkered up. Just for McMahon family reasons. Also, I was honestly thinking there was going to be an unexpected twist with Bryan, because Stephanie hinted that Bryan might have autonomous power if they get rid of Shane McMahon over in SmackDown Live. And considering Bryan is in his I don't give a shit attitude, in fact, he's the only one that stood up to Stephanie and asked to attack her and called her a hypocrite. You know, something that none of the other guys or the gals can't do because she's protected because she's a McMahon, or is she a woman? But Bryan can do it and not face any repercussions because he's in the state of I don't give a fuck. And, okay, Booker T's commentary, what the hell happened? Like, Booker T's just confusingly misguided here. And also, he had said prior to Survivor Series that he was not wanting to be a fan of Lesnar versus Styles. And then during the show, he says, I love this match. I really like it. They have the potential to steal the show. Yeah, that's not what you said on your podcast. You said you would have preferred Jinder Mahal over Styles to fight Lesnar. And you loved Jinder Mahal's reign as champion, even though everyone else suffered for it. So, is this like Vince punishing you because they wanted to make you a complete dumbass for it? Because if so, Vince has succeeded on that. Well, at least it wasn't JBL. So, yeah, yeah, I don't get why this happened for the main event. Like, the rest of the show was alright. Everything was going well. And that's after that world champion versus world champion match. Then they had this big main event that was looking like it could have been an hour long, and they didn't do it. It didn't even get to the 11th clock time that pay-per-views are supposed to run at. So, yeah, they still had like 20 minutes left to the original timing of the show. Yeah, and man, like, I don't get why the main event had to be so messed up like this. I really hope, and once again, NXT proves once and for all why they don't need Vince McMahon to tell them what to do, and they can still do a better show than them. So, really should say something. So, overall, this show was good, but the main event fucked it all up for me. Like, I'm not going to remember the show a lot. Like, the only matches worth remembering is really The Bar and the Usos and Lesnar versus Styles. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This was honestly good. Those two matches were honestly the only things that made the show redeeming. Like, I'll say Baron Corbin and Miz tried to do the best they could, but like, they just did an above-average match, much better than everyone thought it was going to be. Also, The Shield and New Day, that's also worth watching again. So, those 3 matches, and there were a total of 10 matches on the card. 7 matches weren't worth the efforts. Okay, maybe Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, but those are the only 4 I can think of. So, yeah, and also the fact that unsurprisingly, and also, Triple H teaming up with Shane, yeah, I did not buy that for a second. If this was the old days, probably, but considering Triple H was being favored more by Vince now, in terms of running the company, yeah, I don't see them ever working together on that kind of level. In fact, this was their first interaction since Shane McMahon came back, and they barely interacted. So, yeah, and also Daniel Bryan is saying that he's going to talk to Shane about something on Tuesday night, so that's going to be interesting. So, the only guy that has something going for him after Survivor Series on the Raw side of things is really Braun Strowman and maybe The Shield. Like, I don't know what The Shield's plan is next, but there hardly are any teams for them to fight, so yeah, I think this reunion might as well just be done. Like, maybe there's The Bar, but they need a third guy. So, yeah, Strowman, hopefully he gets his big match with Triple H at WrestleMania. And I get the feeling Kurt Angle and Triple H might be fighting in at Royal Rumble or at the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. And we have reached the hour mark. So, it's going to be interesting where this goes. John Cena, he's going back to Hollywood. He just wanted to be here for one night because they gave him enough money, probably. So, those were my thoughts on WWE Survivor Series 2017. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. If you like, comment, subscribe, and donate, stay tuned for more.